Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to IUP Football. Coach Curt Cignetti Show. Jack Benedict here. Throughout the year, we're going to talk IUP football, and we're so glad that it is back on the scene. It was quite an afternoon last Saturday when IUP came away with a 41-19 win over Saint Augustine's of the Raleigh, North Carolina area. Coach with us right now as we talk about the victory. Coach, I think their coach said it best. He said, you know, IUP really came to play, and you guys had them tuned, and right from the outset, you took it to them.
We got off to a tremendous start. You know, we spent a lot of time preparing for this team in the off season. I thought the coaches did a really good job in their preparation. We had a really good camp. Our guys were really focused, ready to play. I could sense it that week, and really Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the day of the game, very focused. We came out fast, strong, executed really well on both sides of the ball and on special teams, and jumped out to a 27-0 lead early in the second quarter, and it was great to see us come out and play like that, and that we're capable of playing at a high level. And you know, they were 3 and out their first 3 drives on offense. Our defense and created a turnover. And offensively, we were really clicking, running and throwing. So, you know, it was a tremendous start.
Yeah, I think in every game probably coaches have concerns, but you had some concern because this was a team, this was not a PSAC team. It was a team that usually in the conference, the CIAA, where they've got athletes.
Yeah. Well, there was an unknown because we hadn't played, and you could tell on tape that they were big and fast and strong, and I was very concerned about this team, particularly as young as we are in the secondary, you know, because of an injury or two. And they had a quarterback with experience. They had receivers that could run and catch. Our running back situation in camp was in a state of flux because of injuries. So we had some positions I felt really good about, but we had a couple of positions I was concerned about. And they all responded, and it worked out.
We have seen in the camp, in the fall camp, you start out with all these running backs, and then one by one, they were going by the wayside. So fortunately, a couple of guys got healthy. Luigi Listabrinza was your starter, and he had a great game. He was over 100 yards for you in his very first game.
Yeah, that was really nice to see. We made Luigi the starter on Tuesday of game week. He missed a lot of camp because of an injury. Performed very well. He's a downhill runner, very decisive. He has really good vision. He's got a very high motor. The line did a really nice job of creating some gaps for him, but he made some really nice cuts too. So for a freshman to come in and play like that, you know, he played at Central Catholic, Quad A school, played in the state championship game, and I couldn't be more proud.
Yeah. Talk about the offensive line a little bit, because you have some veterans up there, a couple of guys that have a little less experience, but all in all, they seem to do pretty well.
Yeah, I thought they came out and blocked Saint Augustine very well. You know, they had an All-American defensive tackle candidate, and we handled him pretty good, and we protected well, we run blocked well. The first three or four series at least, and you know, Bruce Atkins at left tackle, Ethan Cooper at left guard, Matt Sasson at center, Tony Morgante at right guard, and Jorge Vicioso at right tackle. Brock DeSico's part of that mix, did a great job blocking, as did Nick Dabowski. Now, as the game went on, I wasn't quite as pleased with our general execution. You know, too many false starts, missed assignments, things like that. We kind of lost our mental intensity when we got a big lead. And, you know, and that can't happen, and it's unacceptable. So that's something we got to work on and improve.
He had a couple of touchdowns early, and then Kevin Clark comes up, fumble recovery, some big plays by the defense. What do you tell a team when you have a big lead like that at halftime?
Well, you know, to me, it's one play at a time. It's the process and how you play the game. What's your identity? You know, our identity is that we're a resilient, relentless competitor that plays one play at a time like it's nothing. Play fast, play hard, play physical, dominate your man, try to break his will. And, you know, part of mental toughness is being able to play at a high level regardless of the competitive circumstances of the game. So it's easy to play hard when it's a close game, but, you know, when it's 27-0, if you're buying into the process, then your performance shouldn't be affected. But, you know, ours was, and you know, it's something we got to get better at.
Some of the things that you just alluded to that are correctable, though. That's the thing, and that's important, isn't it? Because these are things maybe next week that you won't be doing.
That's exactly right. I mean, you got to cut down on undisciplined penalties. There really is no place for those. critical missed assignments. I mean, there's going to be a penalty or two in a game, and a guy might, bust an assignment here or there, but we had too many undisciplined penalties and critical missed assignments that really shouldn't happen. So those are the two areas I think that we need to improve the most going into our second game.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about the quarterbacks. Of course, that's been something of contention here all fall camp. 3 quarterbacks. Chase Haslett wins the job over Logan Weaver, right, and Chase throws 3 touchdown passes for you. Yeah. I don't know the last time, you probably know, the last time he played a football game. He looked pretty comfortable.
Well, I've been very impressed with Chase. I think he's gotten better every single day that he's been here. He's like a freshman because it's all new. And I saw consistent improvement from the first practice leading up to the first game. So I'm not at all surprised that he got off to the start that he did. He's a coach's son. He knows football. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's really dedicated. He's in the film room all the time, and he's got ability. So I'm really optimistic, down the road about the future, his development and how he can affect our team. And he didn't play a perfect game. I mean, he had a couple plays he'd like to have back. Mm-hmm. But I thought he did really well.
Let's talk about the defense. You give up 19 points, but really they scored on the last play of the game. Yeah. And you had some other people in there. But you have so many young people in the secondary. Yeah. You and I have talked before about the front 6 or so. Yeah. It's probably as good as you've had here.
Well, I think potentially. Now we've got to play that way on the field consistently. I thought defense got off to a great start, 3 3-and-outs, and created a turnover. But then the 4th series, once we had the 27-0 lead, we had Saint Augustine backed up and let a run come out for a first down, and then they no-huddled. We had some problems getting lined up, didn't handle the no-huddle very well, and they put together a 14-play drive. We had it stopped on 4th and 1, but we had a defensive lineman jump off sides. During that drive, we had some critical missed assignments and misalignments that just can't happen. And they were able to muster another drive in the second half, capped off by a long pass where we had, our safety was out of position, which really should never happen. So I think we started really well, but it kind of falls into the same category. That, after we built the lead, I really wasn't very pleased with how we played. Mm-hmm. And I think we've got to get better. We didn't at all positions, and coaches included. And but our front 6 has a chance to be really good. Keno Robertson makes the 7th guy, in the run-stopping mix. Our secondary, I thought Stevie Franco played well for his first game. Mm-hmm. Jarrell McFadden was tremendous. Eric Doe and Chris David, our 2 freshman field corners, got their feet wet. And Takai Turner at safety stepped in and made a big interception at the end of the game, tackled very well throughout the game. Thought he had a very impressive first game for us. Mm-hmm. And now hopefully we can get some injured guys back. Jay Watkins, who started at field corner for us last season, hasn't practiced much. But he's about ready to come back from his groin. Dorian Lane, all-conference linebacker, missed the game too. So it was nice to see the young guys get a chance to play and step up, and I thought all in all they did pretty well.
Mm-hmm. I would imagine there's going to be a lot of work in the secondary this week because Kutztown loses to Slippery Rock. Slippery Rock came from way back to win that. Kutztown throws 64 passes in the game last week. Yeah. You have a little bit of a scouting report. Of course, they have a new coach. Right. Yep. And you said there's not a whole lot of difference maybe from what they're utilizing, what they did last year to this year.
Good football team. Kutztown is won 3 of their last 4 last year, returned almost their whole team. But still fairly young, only 5 seniors. So they were a very young team last year. Jumped out to a 20-0 lead at Slippery Rock on the road, and then it kind of came apart on them. They made some critical mistakes that sort of cost them, a chance to win the game. Defensively, they really come after you, very attacking defense. I think the defensive coordinator there does a really nice job, a lot of blitzes, a lot of man coverage. They're going to try to stop the run first, make you throw the ball. Offensively, last year threw the ball a lot. The new head coach wanted to be a little more balanced coming into the game, and I could see them striving for balance early in the game, but then it became a little bit of a pass fest. Mm-hmm. So, they're going to spread you out and throw it. They're going to challenge us, and it'll be a tough game.
We've talked before about how many first-year players you have, and how many freshmen you have.
Yeah.
Who graded out well? Because I'm sure the fans who came said, boy, a couple of these guys opened up our eyes.
Right, yeah, well, we had 14 new guys play in the game. Nine of them were freshmen. And Brock DeSico at tight end had an outstanding football game, both in blocking and receiving, and he can be a great weapon for us. And we already talked about Chase and Luigi. And up front on defense, Karan Gibson and Bryce Gilbert and Jamel Everett inside. I thought they all played really well. And Takai Turner at safety, and the two corners that we had talked about earlier. I was just really pleased with all the newcomers, and we've got a few more I think that are going to see the field and didn't have the opportunity, whether it was injury that held their progress back. So you're going to see 2 or 3 more new faces before the season's over.
Got a nice return from Tristan Davis too.
Yes.
47-yard return. He's a young man that gives you some speed, talent.
Yeah, Tristan Davis and Walt Pegues, 2 guys that really can do something with the ball in their hand. Tristan had a really nice punt and kickoff return, and he's a good receiver, and you're going to see him on the field a little bit more at receiver. And Walt Pegues has really just sort of dominated in terms of everything we've asked him to do from the first day of practice. Whatever we ask him to do, he's been tremendous. And we've got to find a way to get the ball in his hands more because he's electric. He's got tremendous ball skills and speed and can make people miss. So it's nice to have some weapons like that, and that's our job to figure out how to get him the ball.
Yeah.
And so I think this team has a chance to be pretty good. It's really important that we develop every day and improve and stay focused. But I like our mindset and our attitude, and we'll take it one day at a time. But I'm optimistic that we can become a good football team.
You have to be happy with the way the kickers were too. I know Brett Dahlman had to be so disappointed.
Yeah.
He missed the first one, then he knocked them all through.
Yeah.
And of course, Matt Spiegel averaged 45 yards a punt.
Yeah, he did. I thought our special teams in general was really good. And, Brett kicked the ball well after that first PAT. And, like you said, Matt averaged 45 yards a punt. We had really good coverage on our punt game, and our kickoff return coverage was pretty good. Our kickoff returns were good. Our punt returns, I was pleased with special teams. We worked them hard in camp. And, that's a big-time winning edge. About 25% of the plays in a game are special team plays. So, the same kind of preparation has to go in from the coaches and the players, and the same kind of effort on the field. It's just as important as any other play in the game.
One other thing, Curt, we'll close it out with the fans, the crowd. There was enthusiasm. There were more students. Going to be on the road for 2 weeks. Kutztown, Lock Haven won't be back till the 27th. Let's hope they bring even their friends along too on Hall of Fame Day, because the atmosphere was great, I thought.
Yeah, I thought we had a really good crowd. I know that Travis Spagnola, a student at IUP, has really rallied the students and trying to get them to come to all the athletic contests. And, we really appreciate that. Our football program does. When the stadium is packed and there's electricity from the fans, it just adds and boosts our game. And our kids were excited, and I'm looking forward to getting back home in 2 weeks when we do play Mercyhurst, and hopefully we can take care of business the next 2 weeks, and and have another tremendous crowd, maybe even a better one, next time we come home.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. We'll see you next week with the show, and hopefully we'll get the same result. Don't forget, we have IUP back home in 2 weeks with Mercyhurst and the Hall of Fame game. And for this week, of course, we'll be on the road at Kutztown University. So we hope you all come out in a couple of weeks. And in fact, if you're with us on the road, that's good too. For the coach, this is Jack Benedict, and thanks for tuning in to IUP Football.